right, well, we are doing a podcast. We are doing a That's Good Sports podcast right now. Will Keys is here with me. I am Brandon Perna. This is our podcast. Today, a lot of NFL stuff to talk about. Odell Beckham. An arrest warrant has been issued by Louisiana police for simple battery after Odell slapped a security guard or a cop. I think it's a security guard. On the ass after LSU won the game for college championship-ness.
That's what they call it.
Yep. Drew Rosenhaus has dropped Antonio Brown as his client. We've got some Broncos news to discuss. Pat Shurmur being hired after they fired Rich Scangarello. Devontae Bosby is ready to come back for the Broncos secondary. I watched some of the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix. And of course, we've got Titans versus Chiefs and Packers versus 49ers in the championship games this weekend. Will, how upset are you that the Chiefs are playing in the championship game?
I can't even begin to tell you. I'm disappointed in the Texans. I can't really put that performance in the words. It was like, I don't know how to explain it really. It's like climbing, 9/10 of the way to Mount Everest and then just getting kicked off and falling down all the way to sea level. That's really what it felt like just watching the game.
I think it's more like getting to base camp with ease and then just giving up once you see Mount Everest.
Yeah, maybe.
It's I'm trying to think, because the Texans choking like that, it did not surprise me.
No, absolutely not.
And I thought if they could have gotten to, 31 points or whatever, that I was going to be like, okay, they're going to win this game. But even looking back now, they would have needed to get to, I would say, in the 40s. Because, the Chiefs scored 41 straight points. So the Texans really, if they scored just one or two more touchdowns, might have slowed the Chiefs down. And I want to put this like in a top choke game, but the Texans gave away their lead so early that it almost doesn't feel like they choked as much as, I don't know, they just scored all their points in one quarter instead of throughout the period of a game where they got their ass kicked.
Right, yeah. I'm just going to say it's tough to win a game when you give up 41 straight points. It's tough to do that. But, far be it from a Houston football team to blow it in the playoffs like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans going into that game with the Seahawks were the only team that gave up more points per game this season than Houston. So it's one of those things where it just shows, I think, postseason, if your defense is not really good, you're probably going to fucking lose at some point. And
I'm with you, man.
Definitely showed that.
Some better defenses this week.
Yeah, better defenses. The Titans beating the Ravens didn't surprise me because I thought the Titans were a good team heading into that game, but I thought the Ravens were possibly the best team in football. So, and I really wanted to see a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl, but now maybe hopefully 49ers Titans Super Bowl. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 49ers Titans. I think that's that game would probably be over in 45 minutes because I don't think either team would really throw the ball. But Super Bowls are too long anyways. So
are they though?
No, not really. You got to suck up every last drop of football while you still
that last game. You just hold on for dear life.
What was too long though was the national championship. That was like 5 hours.
Yeah, that was long. I watched, I think, an hour of the pregame, and I feel like I am fully abreast on everything I need to know about college football.
Yeah, I think that covered it pretty much for the whole season.
Yeah, so let's talk about this Odell thing because
Yeah.
all right, so the big story at first was he gave players money on the field afterwards, which you can or cannot do. There's weird rules about money in the NCAA. So that was like a huge story. He gave them he got giving them Dre's Beats headphones cleared through the NCAA, but the money was an issue. But then today, maybe to distract from the money issue, maybe this is the NCAA trying to shift gears. In the locker room after the game, he slapped a security guard's ass because I think the security guard was telling one of the LSU players to put a cigar out or something. I don't fucking know exactly what was going on, but yeah, now he and the Browns are having to deal with the Louisiana police to try to square this out. He could be fined up to $1,000, or you could go to jail for 6 months, which we know is not going to happen unless Kevin Stefanski's like, maybe put him in jail for 6 months so he'll just be ready to focus on training camp. I don't know. Could be.
Well, Michael Vick got better after going to jail, so who knows?
How long did Vic do? A year and a half? Almost 2 years?
He did 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
That's
two full seasons of football at least.
It's one of my favorite moments on The Office when they make a Michael Vick joke and they just cut to Daryl and he's like, hey, Vic served his time.
He did.
Vic served. No, he did. People don't want to forgive in the real world, though.
No, not really. Especially the PETA crazies.
Oh, man.
Anyway, from one out of control wide receiver to the next, Antonio Brown was dropped by his agent, a guy who notoriously sticks to his players, a guy who stuck to Antonio Brown probably too long. Drew Rosenhaus dropped Antonio Brown as a client and basically said, I will work with Antonio Brown in the future, hopefully, but not until he gets help.
Yeah.
So that kind of begs the question, why now? Why was this like a bridge too far for him and not the 10,463 things that came before it?
Yeah, why was throwing a bag of dicks at police? Man, Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham, really not a fan of law enforcement.
No.
Odell's, I get a little more just because, the security guards probably like coming down on LSU's high after winning. It's like, hey, just let the guys do what they want in the locker room. The police were trying to help Antonio Brown.
Right.
And the police said they are also done with Antonio Brown. Like they're not basically not coming out to. Oh no, he had a flag football. He had some sort of football league through them, or I don't know. They dropped it. Whatever. They're done with him. I shouldn't even mention it because I saw the article. I started to read it and I never followed up. But anyway, Odell Beckham Jr. threw a bag of gummy dicks, and that was the last straw for Drew Rosenhaus. Is it Haas or House? House.
Yeah.
Should be spelled like house from house.
He's got a big house.
Yeah, he
does.
All
those money.
All that money. Yeah, so it's like, did he drop him because he really thinks AB needs help now, or is it like, oh, he's not going to be getting paid for a while and I'm not going to make any money?
Ding, ding, ding.
Wasn't Rosenhaus T.O.'s agent back in the day?
He was, yeah.
He's
just the agent for all the crazy wide receivers pretty much.
Yeah, I think somebody on Twitter said this, and I thought it was really funny. It was like, remember when T.O. working out in his driveway was the most offensive thing a wide receiver had done?
Yeah, what the fuck? Why did people care about that again?
I don't know. He was doing crunches in his driveway, and that was
I've never worked out my driveway, but
oh, I have before.
Yeah? I guess if you have a driveway, you might as well take advantage of it.
Actually, it wasn't my driveway. It was my parents' driveway. But it's like the weather's nice. You can just take some barbells out there, and they live where there's like not many people around, so you don't feel like an idiot
My driveway is too steep.
Doing your squats with 20 pounds, so nobody will judge you.
Of course. Yeah, working on those legs. Here's a wide receiver that is not crazy as far as I know. Cortland Sutton is going to the Pro Bowl because DeAndre Hopkins is so embarrassed by the Texans' performance against the Chiefs that he will not show his face at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I think Hopkins likes to go to Europe in the offseason. I would just get over there immediately. Nice to see Cortland Sutton going. Maybe that will give me a reason to watch the Pro Bowl. I don't know.
Probably still not.
It is so nice to just take a break from football that weekend.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Like after the grind of it, oh, man. Okay, so before we go into the Broncos stuff.
Right.
Now, a lot of people with AB, right? Because the bag of dicks thing, he was screaming at the mother of his children. He was claiming that she was trying to steal a Bentley that he previously had gifted her. And he was just saying like terrible things in front of his very young children, yelling at the cops. Like that was the disturbing part of it. And we've known AB. People are saying he has CTE and other people are saying like he just might be crazy. I don't know. I'm not going to say he definitely has CTE because we can't really know until he's dead. And I don't want to say he's crazy, but he appears to be crazy. So knowing with what I kind of watched from the Aaron Hernandez documentary so far, and that he was definitely suffering from CTE and started, but I guess like his behavior though, Aaron Hernandez had like this whole history of having kind of a weird, rough childhood when his dad died from a hernia surgery. His dad was abusive. His mom was not stable. He ended up kind of being raised by a woman who was not a great influence in his life. He got involved with some of the wrong people through having to purchase weed, through drug dealers. Like he had all of these other things that kind of built who he was as a person.
Right.
AB, I don't really know AB's backstory. I do know like he was not a big issue until basically the Facebook videos when things started to get weird with Antonio Brown afterwards. So it's hard to say if a brain injury led to a change in behavior because we don't know what happened before. But I think Rosenhaus leaving him is like the thing. It doesn't matter what the reason is. I think a lot of people think he needs some sort of help, and he's not willing to admit that. And I don't think he's going to get it unless something bad happens, because you have to see that there's a problem. And I don't know if he realizes that, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk about it because they kind of correlated, but I think they're very, very different stories.
Yeah, I mean, the stories about Antonio Brown, he did have a rough childhood from what I can remember.
Okay.
But people say he changed when he got paid, really, for the first time.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, I know I did.
Yeah.
You went off the deep end. But to get paid that much money, it should change a person, I think.
I mean, when I started to get money, I used to have nothing in this background. Now look at all of that bullshit I got back there. I got envelopes. I got an old microphone that doesn't work that I haven't even thrown away because why take the time?
The butler do that.
Yep. Pull-up bar, lamp.
Use it.
That's rich people shit right there.
A projector.
I got a projector for free because I'm so rich. I don't even have to buy it anymore.
Yep. Yeah. Big flex.
Yeah. Big time in it now, Willie.
What can you say?
Can I just start calling you Willie?
Yeah, you call me whatever you want.
Does anybody call you Willie?
No, not really.
You went to the gym earlier, right?
I did, yeah.
What's your workout routine like?
I did 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. Yeah, get that butt looking nice.
Oh, yeah. Those glutes.
Yeah, another 15 on the elliptical. So my roommate doesn't call me fat anymore. And a bunch of push-ups. I just do push-ups, really.
Fair enough.
Which you don't really need to go to the gym for, but it feels better.
Just, I think it'd be funny if, like, you're paying for this gym membership and you just go next to every machine there designed to work your muscles, and you just do body weight exercises next to it.
Oh, yeah.
So push-ups next to the bench. What's the hack squat machine? Just go and do air squats next to it. What else? Somebody. What else?
I like to just lean on the machines and, like, take deep breaths and
lean
act
on
like
the machines
I'm tired.
and do, like, side leg extensions.
Oh, yeah.
Work your butt and your side muscle. I don't know what it's called.
The butt side muscle.
I was just curious.
Anatomy 101. Yeah, I mean, I might start working out in my driveway. Who knows?
You should. Trust me. It's worth it. All right. So, also, Devontae Bosby, our favorite AAF corner turned NFL pro who is looking good for the Broncos, who suffered an injury, tweeted an update saying, FYI, I am at full health and have been 100% quite some time now. Ready for the 2020 season. Let's rock. Spelled ROCC. So you know he means business.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, that was a pretty scary neck injury that he had.
Yeah.
I think it was week 5, and he was having a really, really solid season up until then, I thought. If, the Broncos quarterback situation isn't as dire, well, I mean, it kind of hinges on a couple of things, which we don't know how they're going to play out. But the health of Bryce Callahan, he could be back in good shape for next season, which of course we don't know because we thought he was going to play for like 12 straight weeks, and he never did. Bosby, of course, is back, and that's going to help a lot. Feels like Yadam got better over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, well, they put him back into the starting lineup, so we know at least the coaches believe in Yadam, and yeah, he seemed to play better as well.
Davante Harris had a few good moments, so I think he's good depth at least.
That's because we didn't know about any of those guys. So it's basically if they lose Chris Harris, which there's a small chance that they keep him, but he's probably gone. They've said that they're probably going to target a corner in free agency. So if they do add one good corner, then you're feeling pretty good about the Broncos secondary, especially if Justin Simmons comes back with Kareem Jackson. Your safeties are set. If they can keep Will Parks
Justin
too,
Simmons is coming back.
If they can keep Will Parks too, that's great. But yeah, they basically need one corner, and then they can draft a corner as well, and you'll have a lot of depth, which they needed every bit of this last season. But maybe Callahan's healthy and. Corners that are available, you have Byron Jones from the Cowboys.
He's like the number 1 probably like the number 2 or 3 free agent. Yeah, Amari Cooper's probably considered first.
Right.
Although I would rather go after Chris Jones, just I think that position's a little more valuable than wide receiver. And then Byron Jones is probably 3. And
it feels like with the wide receiver heavy draft, you can probably draft a guy. James Bradbury from Carolina is another corner. I'm just reading off the list here. Because then they have Chris Harris. Then they've got Trey Waynes. Oh, yeah, Bradley Roby from Houston. He'll be available again. And the guy we talked about in our last episode, Logan Ryan. So
yeah, that's kind of who I think they should go after.
There's the point is there's options out there. So if they lose Chris Harris – it's hard because Chris Harris is a hard corner to replace, but he may have started to show signs of just getting a little bit older. But maybe like if you move Harris back to just being more of your, slot corner, maybe that's all he needs, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of in a tough spot because they didn't have the guys on the outside. Because I think I guess they're counting on Callahan to do that, although Callahan, I think, plays a little bit of slot too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of played him not out of position because he's a great corner and he can play anywhere, but not in the the best place to maximize what he does well,
Right.
which is lock down guys in the slot.
And honestly, like the Broncos did offer Harris, an extension, but their thought with Callahan might have been long term. This is the guy we can use to replace Chris Harris if we don't keep him, because they both do play similar style of corner. So
right, yeah, both really physical.
I guess Derek Wolfe went on the radio today and said the team has not reached out to him yet, probably because they were busy firing offensive coordinators. But that he didn't say that. I did. But he wants to stay in Denver, but he said he is not doing what he did last time. So I don't think Wolfe is going to take a discount.
Yeah.
It's hard to ask a guy like Derek Wolfe, I think, to take a discount because
took one.
he already did one. He played very well this last season, and I'm not sure everybody knows this, but like Derek Wolfe, he plays every week, and he plays through a ton of injuries. Like,
he does, yeah. I mean, he missed a couple games at the end there. Still had 7 sacks.
When he dislocated his elbow is when he, stopped playing. But
yeah, like as a 3-4 defensive tackle too, like, you're not in a position to get a ton of sacks, and he still did. The question is,
he's great against the run too, but
right.
I'm saying like Wolfe is. I feel like Derek Wolfe's going to be the kind of guy, once he retires, his body's going to hate him because he doesn't care what's wrong with him. If he's cleared by the doctors, like he's the guy who's going to play through some shit. So you're asking a guy who's going to put it all on the line every week to take a hometown discount. And that I feel like is kind of shitty because there'll be another team that values that and, they'll take Wolfe. But
of course, yeah. And the other question is, what do you do with Shelby Harris? Because probably one or the other. And, furthermore, you drafted Draymond Jones in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And he showed, I think, enough at the end of the season to be like, all right, this is a guy we can roll with as a week 1 starter. DeMarcus Walker, too, I think is, at least a rotation guy, if not a potential starter. He's going to be in a contract year.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Him.
He saw a lot more playing time this year with Vic Fangio.
Yeah, and it feels like he's always good whenever he gets the chance.
Yeah, he's like a weird story too because he played less at the end of the year. I don't know if he had an injury or what, but I feel like they needed him more at the end of the year, but he was like inactive and I don't know what the fucking story is with him.
It's strange. And he played out of position his first 2 years. And once they got him in at defensive tackle or defensive end, whichever you want to call it, in the 3-4, he was producing. I think he had a couple sacks in that Jacksonville game. He was getting pressure. I'm not an expert. I don't know if he was like out of position ever, like letting runs get by, because obviously like they got toasted in that Jacksonville game by Leonard Fournette. So like maybe he's partially responsible for that, and they reduced his role, but. Feels like he can make it into the rotation at least, and that gives him a lot more, a few more options and depth there, which is always nice.
The 2019 Broncos got absolutely gashed by Leonard Fournette and completely shut down Derrick Henry.
Right, makes sense.
It totally makes sense. Same way the Pat Shurmur hiring made so much sense.
What was your immediate reaction? Because at first I was like, fuck, why did we do this?
Yeah. No, I was pissed. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't think the firing of Rich Scangarello made a lot of sense, but everybody was like, the Broncos got somebody in mind. They got somebody in mind. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe they're getting a guy we're going to be really excited about. And the guy they had in mind was Pat Shurmur.
Right, let's be fair. Much better offensive coordinator than a head coach. He's like the classic guy who fits as an OC and is just not cut out to be a head coach, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But I don't even know how good of offensive coordinator he is. I mean,
well, he got that New York job pretty much solely based on what he did with Case Keenum in 2017.
I know. But, like, even that, like, the Vikings offense wasn't that great that year. It was just –
because they had Case Keenum.
Fair enough. I mean, that's the question. Like, is he really good because he got a slightly above offensive performance out of the Vikings with Case Keenum?
All right, let's look at the quarterbacks that he's played with.
No, he hasn't played with any. And
I'm going to just –
it's Nick Foles, it's Sam Bradford, it's Case Keenum, it's maybe Mark Sanchez even for a little bit.
All right, he was the quarterback's coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, 2002 to 2008. The quarterback there, of course, was Donovan McNabb. Had a lot of success.
Pretty easy. McNabb, already a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, he was the OC.
With Andy Reid as your actual play caller. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But, you know.
But then he has a very good offense from, what's it, like, it was in Philly still. He's the offensive coordinator from 2012 to 15 or something.
Right. Yeah, no. Then he goes to St. Louis, where he's the offensive coordinator in 2009 and 2010. 2010, they draft Sam Bradford. And that was, probably his best year overall. He wins Rookie of the Year in 2010. 18 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 3,500 yards. Never really repeated that performance until –
That was Rookie of the Year worthy?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it went 7-9 with the Rams with a shitty team. I mean, that team sucked. Okay. I don't know if you remember.
18 touchdowns and 15 picks doesn't sound that great either.
Yeah, but that 2009 team was absolutely abominable. They had no one on that offense except for Steven Jackson. So he goes to he's the coach of the Browns for 2 years. Gets a little bit out of Colt McCoy and Brandon Weeden. Not great, obviously. Back to Philadelphia with Nick Foles, and then goes to Minnesota, where he's the offensive coordinator, and gets the only other good year out of Sam Bradford. He gets Sam Bradford to 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, then record 71.6 completion percentage out of Sam Bradford. So that was pretty nice. Obviously gets Case Keenum working in 2017.
Right.
Gets to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. And I thought he got a really good year out of Daniel Jones without really any help at wide receiver, and Saquon Barkley out of the offense for most of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon
did a really good job.
Was battling injuries. He started to play really good the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I think if the Broncos have a lot of talent on offense, which we think they will, and Drew Lock is a good quarterback, which it looks like he's going to be, then Pat Shurmur will be fine. I think you'll see the Broncos throw quite a bit, which is exciting.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think the reason they hired him is because I really don't think Vic Fangio wants to think about the offense during a game.
Yeah, I felt like right.
He didn't trust Rich Scangarello to be able to make all of the decisions and to just kind of own that job based on his inexperience. And a guy with Shurmur, he's not going to have to think about that. He can just be whatever the offense needs, you just do. And I'll manage timeouts for the offense.
I liked a lot of what Scangarello did. I think he had some nice play designs. I thought he was real. His strength when Drew Lock got in the lineup was the red zone. He got guys open in the red zone and was really creative. I think when they got down there, which I know Drew Lock opened a lot of that up because obviously Flacco wasn't athletic enough to make those kinds of plays. But that was that was what he did best, I think. But I think they didn't really match. Vic Fangio, you could tell he's more of an aggressive head coach. And Scangarello, he's got the play designs and scheme of someone who's like a forward-thinking head coach and a modern offensive play caller. But he's not aggressive, I think, like the NFL is trending towards.
That's fair. And I think Shermer's going to be a much more aggressive sort of.
Yeah.
And it's not, you're right. It's not just about like play calling. It's about
situation.
More about situation.
And you could just watching those games, the last two games against the Lions and the Raiders, especially, their play calling, their sequencing got really, really predictable. I think they ran on first down, like 80% of the time or something like that, or at least it felt like, which is, what the numbers say you shouldn't do that. Obviously, I hate nerds, but there are a lot of things I agree with.
Well, if you had a consistently sort of dominant run game, then you can. But the Broncos' running game relies so much on, the pass being a continued threat. And it's like, and this last season, like their run game wasn't like Lindsey got over 1,000 yards, but it felt like it wasn't like 2018
where
been
better.
Once a game, Philip Lindsay was breaking a 30 or 40 yard run, and you were really excited about it. It was, I don't know, it felt not nearly as threatening this last season.
Yeah, it felt like him and the offense didn't get the most out of Lindsey and Royce Freeman, for that matter.
Right. And I think the Broncos are going to need a running back who's going to needs to be great at catching passes, because I think that's the other thing. Shermer will probably utilize running backs in the passing game more. So,
yeah, hopefully. I mean, Philip Lindsay is working out with Christian McCaffrey to become a better receiving back. So hopefully that helps a little bit. He's not going to turn into Christian McCaffrey.
No. But there's guys like, maybe in the draft, or you bring a free agent like Austin Eckler in. I don't know. The Broncos are probably going to move on from Devontae Booker.
Yeah.
So that's Freeman, Lindsey. Who's the guy? Oh, fuck. Who's the guy they had in the preseason that looked like –
Theo Riddick?
No, not Theo, but the –
Devontae Jackson.
Not him.
The guy from Cal. What's his name?
He's another little guy. He looked a lot like Lindsey. I can't remember him.
Yeah.
I can't remember him right now.
It was the guy from Cal. I can't remember his name either.
Let me see if I can find it. Somebody listening has the name and they're yelling.
I know, yeah. They're really pissed off right now that we can't figure it out.
I'm going to find him. Where the fuck are you?
In the meantime, I'm going to look at wait a second. I think I got it. No, fuck. Damn it. That's not it either.
Oh, what did the Broncos do with Jake Butt, too?
He was on IR.
No, I know, but what are they
off IR.
What are they going to do with him?
He's got another year on his contract.
Okay, that's good.
So they would have to cut him if they don't want him, which I hope they give him one more chance, because why not? I mean, Tyler Eifert didn't really do anything until his third or fourth year because of injuries, and then he was great. So
yeah,
I really hope they keep Jake Butt, and unless he gets injured again, because then all right, see ya.
Yeah, that feels like pairing Jake Butt with Noah Fant is a no-brainer.
Oh, Khalfani Muhammad.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. It just came to me.
Khalfani Muhammad. I just found his name, right as you said that.
Yeah, and there's solid running back prospects I think that you could get in the middle of the draft.
Right.
I don't know where he's going to go. I'm looking at Walter Football, and who knows if they know what they're talking about. They've got J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State going in the second to third round. Let's see. Scotty Phillips from Ole Miss. I just like his name. I think he'd fit.
Easy to say, easy to spell, unless it's just one L in that Phillips.
Right. The guy who played for LSU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. is a great pass-catching running back, kind of built like C.J. Anderson.
Clyde's a solid name, too.
Clyde's such a good name. The only thing is, like, yeah, his name's Clyde, and they call him Clyde the Glide, but he does not glide whatsoever. It just doesn't fit.
Is he a brutalizer?
He's very much a brutalizer. Yeah, it'd be like calling C.J. Anderson like C.J. the Glide Anderson. It's just like not like it doesn't match, even though it rhymes. So that's the thing about nicknames. They have to sound good, and also they have to make some sort of sense.
They got to be accurate. Fair enough.
Yeah. Where's Clyde Edwards-Helaire going?
Yeah, but the point is we are trying to talk ourselves into being excited about Pat Shurmur. The experience, I think, is big. I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make, but I don't mean that in a total negative way, because I think the Broncos offense was going to be better regardless next season. So if they take a big leap, we're all going to say that was because of Pat Shurmur. And that might not even necessarily be 100% true, but
yeah,
if they're winning games, it doesn't fucking matter. We will be very excited, and I will call him Pat Shurmur.
Of course, yeah.
My heart, you make my heart murmur because it's so excited of the offense.
Okay, so they're saying Clyde Edwards no later than day 2, most likely. Okay. It might be too early for a running back, and you already have Phil Lindsay.
They'll figure it out.
He'll do something. I trust them. Trade for Saquon Barkley. Why not?
Because Derrick Henry is going to be a free agent too.
Derrick Henry.
Everybody thinks
there's going to be no carries left for Philip Lindsay if we get Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and I don't imagine Tennessee letting Derrick Henry go.
I don't know, because that's kind of a tough thing, and we can kind of segue this into the Chiefs-Titans.
Yeah, let's segue it.
But they're really running Derrick Henry into the ground right now, more than they have ever at any point. It feels like they're just like squeezing every last drop out of him before kind of letting him move on, because if you're about to pay a guy like Derrick Henry for the long term, and he's going to command a lot of money after this postseason, and, probably rightfully so, but like at the same time, I don't know if it's a great investment for a guy who's taken, he was getting like 50 carries a game in high school. They're running him into the ground at Alabama. Obviously, they're giving him like 35, 40 carries a game now. He's going to get a lot more carries Sunday. Hopefully, the more carries he gets, the better chance the Titans are going to have, I think.
I don't think I buy that.
Why is that?
Okay, Derrick Henry.
And he might be the exception. Like, he might just be a superhuman, because
Derrick Henry career carries insane. 804 after 4 seasons. Philip Lindsay after 2 seasons, 416.
Okay.
Throughout most of the season, Henry got average.
He had 2 playoff games worth of carries in 2017, and he has 2 playoff games worth of carries this year. He's about to get another.
Yeah. So, but the last 3 weeks, he's gotten at least 30 carries. Which is 30, high.
34.
But
you got to look at touches too. Like, they throw him the ball a fair amount.
I don't think that means he's not going to have anything left in the tank for next season.
No, I don't think like next season it's going to catch up to him, but probably eventually.
You're saying that
not that many.
You have to be careful about how much money on how long of a contract you give him. And if he's asking for a long-term guaranteed
I think he's going to be asking for a lot, because he could potentially he could be the Super Bowl MVP very easily at this point, couldn't he?
Oh yeah, he definitely could be.
He got so he had 602 carries in 3 years at Alabama. That's quite a few.
Yeah, but I think he's built to handle a lot of carries.
He might be.
I mean,
you might be right.
Adrian Peterson. Peterson had 217 or 211 carries this last season. Let's see, 2007, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Peterson, you had, you had 8 out of 9 elite seasons. And to me, like, anything could happen to any player and ruin that. But I feel like Derrick Henry, the Titans figured out how to use him best this season. The offensive line came together late. And the offensive line's playing really good football right now. So why not just keep feeding Derrick Henry when he's getting like 5 yards almost every time? Like it's like a 4 or 5 yard run. Almost feels like a win for the defense right now against Derrick Henry. I don't think the Titans would let him go, but maybe you're right and I am completely wrong. But
I mean, I don't think like smart teams are going to pay based on like past performance. They're not going to give him like a congratulations contract for what he did in the playoffs if they're smart. But I don't know. Maybe, he could just be like a superhuman freak, which, well, we know he is, but like, maybe he can wear like all those hits and carries and,
yeah,
because not everybody can turn Earl Thomas into their personal blocker like Derrick Henry did. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, honestly, on a football field, especially to Earl Thomas, who talked all that shit all season. And then before that Titans game, just a beautiful moment of poetic justice, I think.
Dude,
hopefully they can do that to the Chiefs.
Derrick Henry's stiff arm is so badass. Like if you're a defensive back, you have almost no chance of tackling him in space because he's just going to put his arm out there. And since he's like, what, 6'1" or 6'2"?
He's 6'3".
He's 6'3"?
Yeah, he's a 6'3" running back.
Yeah, like
he's like Marcus Allen, but just like buffer.
Yeah, he just pushes people. I love because he's not the fastest guy, but when the defensive backs catch up to him, he just pushes them away. And don't get me wrong, he's got speed, but they can catch up to him, and he just does this.
4 speed.
If you're avoiding a lot of hits to your legs because you're stiff arming dudes, I think that prolongs your longevity.
I guess. I mean, yeah, maybe you're right.
Maybe I'm very right here.
I hope they do keep him. Like I think they're a fun team to watch with him.
Yeah, and I think he's a
team
great.
That never throws the ball shouldn't be that fun to watch, but they are. I mean, they do throw the ball, but just not in the playoffs.
When they don't have to, like that's.
Why would you?
Pairing Derrick Henry with Mike Vrabel is awesome because, like, Mike Vrabel's the kind of coach you want to have a back who can just beat the shit out of a defense because he's just going to keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah, and why not?
So, Titans at Chiefs. Let me just go through this injury updates. Obviously, anything could change, but Adoree Jackson for the Titans, ankle injury, same one he played with last weekend, should play. Logan Ryan got the flu, as did Matt Moore and LaShawn McCoy, but all of those guys should be ready to go. Travis Kelce.
Oh, no, Matt Moore has the flu.
Yeah.
Tough break for the Chiefs.
Be key. Kelce, little banged up, but he's going to play. The big question mark for Kansas City is Chris Jones. I checked this earlier. I should check today. He did not practice Wednesday. It's that calf strain.
The Wednesday practice is pretty, it's usually
you never know.
Like in the playoffs, all bets are off.
Yeah, I feel like there's a good chance Chris Jones plays, but he's listed as day-to-day, and he will be needed, unlike he was not needed against the Texans. He will be needed against Derrick Henry. And then this is, I think, interesting player that could help Tennessee is Adam Humphries. Practiced for the first time since week 12 with an ankle injury. And Humphries didn't have like a super productive season this year. He scored his only touchdowns when Ryan Tannehill took over the offense. But he feels like a piece that Tennessee has been missing in the playoffs where you have Derrick Henry. Tennessee hasn't really even been utilizing their passing game, but like The deep ball, it worked last week. They hit the long play to Khalif Raymond a lot this season. They did that to A.J. Brown. But I feel like if you give Ryan Tannehill a short underneath target, especially in short and third situations, that Adam Humphries could be a guy nobody's talked about that makes like an impact in this game. That might be me reaching, but I don't
want to see Tannehill throw the ball more than 12 times in this game, honestly, because that's been it's been turning into wins. But yeah, I mean, they've got the formula right now. Against the Chiefs, though, it's a whole different animal, as we know. I think their best shot is, first of all, the back end of their defense. The defensive backs are so much better than what Houston had out there. I don't think people realize how bad Houston's secondary was going into that game. Tashawn Gibson was out. I think Jonathan Joseph was out too. They were playing Bradley Roby, Vernon Hargraves, that Lonnie Johnson, that rookie who they benched earlier and had to play again. He got pretty much smoked. No one on their defense was within 5 yards of any Kansas City receiver for most of the game. And the other important part, I think, is Tennessee has really, really good linebackers. And Travis Kelce was murdering the Texans linebackers. Yeah. So you get the linebackers on him, hopefully limit him a little bit. Obviously, we know Kevin Byard's great. Deion Sanders doesn't know that, but we do.
We know it.
They've already played him this season. Obviously, the Texans have too, but I think the Titans did a good job against that Chiefs offense in the first game. So, they know what they're getting into. That game was in Tennessee. This game's obviously in Kansas City. They have to get off to a good lead like they did in Baltimore, to a lesser extent in New England. They just kept it close most of the game and were able to dictate the way that they wanted to play the game. And that's hard to do against Kansas City because you could be down 14-0 within, 5 minutes. And all of a sudden you can't run Derrick Henry all the time and you have to throw the ball. And that's obviously, there's no reason to think that they can't win that way. They just haven't had to up until this point. But we know that their winning formula at this point in the season is just run the hell out of the ball, play action early, hit a few big plays with Tannehill, and play really solid defense.
Yeah, I mean, there are two things. If the Chiefs get an early lead, it's going to be hard for Tennessee to overcome.
Yeah.
And the other question mark is if Tennessee has to rely on their kicker at all, that is still a huge unknown.
Haven't attempted a field goal since week 15.
Yeah,
which is a hilarious stat.
Yeah.
But it means you're converting in the red zone. So
and I mean,
hand it to them.
The best thing the Titans can do is start the game with like a long drive that they score a touchdown.
Honestly, here's the thing. Sorry to cut you off, but unless you're in like 4th and 13 or something, like why trot out your field goal kicker at all?
No need.
I mean, Bill O'Brien showed that that's exactly how you lose against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Is settling for field goals on 4th and short.
4th and short, momentum in your favor.
Yep.
Don't go for it.
I mean, we could have told you that after that play, after that decision, the Chiefs are going to come storming back.
Yeah, it just felt like they were going to be outmatched post that point.
So, Mike Vrabel, I know you are listening. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Vrabel's not going to back down. He's the one Belichick disciple that took all of the right parts with him.
I mean, he never coached under Bill Belichick, so he never got all those weird, creepy habits.
He just played for him.
He just played for him. Yeah, I think he coached under Bill O'Brien.
Oh, so he learned from the
correctly.
worst. Yeah, I think you're right. But I mean, here's here's the real question. Can the Chiefs stop Derrick Henry? Chiefs fans seem to think so, although Kansas City
There's no reason to think they should.
Kansas City was not good against the run this year. They were seventh
really
worst for yards given up per game, 128, 4.9 per carry. So,
I mean, the way they stop Derrick Henry is putting the Titans in a situation where they can't run Derrick Henry.
Right. And I'm going to talk about this in the preview episode, but I was trying to watch like how the Broncos stopped Derrick Henry, and the answer to that is all of your defenders have to play really good.
Yeah,
I think the first five times Derrick Henry was like tackled against the Broncos, it was a different player making the stop. Hold on one second. Yeah.
Don't fuck with cats.
Goddamn cat. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really gone back and watched that game, but I think that's that'd be interesting to do. But I think you can't really undersell the Ryan Tannehill effect on that offense, because when Marcus Mariota was in there, you really didn't have to respect the downfield pass.
No.
He wasn't throwing the ball, 5 yards down the field.
And he was going to make mistakes too.
Tannehill will go deep at a moment's notice and do it well too, which is the important part, of course.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. I can see so many scenarios playing out. Also, you tried to catch me in the picks last week, and it backfired.
I think I don't think I can catch you at this point.
No.
I think it's over. I blew a huge lead like the Texans.
Yeah, you're the Texans. I'm the Packers. Just slow and steady. Just keep on winning, baby. All right. So who are you going to take for Titans Chiefs?
I have to take the Chiefs. It hurts me.
I'm going to take the Titty Boys.
Good. I mean, you obviously know more than me. You're clearly a more accurate predictor of these games. So.
Yep. The only one I was sorely wrong about, damn Ravens. Okay. Packers, 49ers. Aaron Rodgers is in concussion protocol. Probably not going to play.
Yeah. So. The Packers lost 38-7 earlier this season in Santa Clara.
See if anybody corrects me on that. So for first meeting, Packers got the shit kicked out of them.
They did. I don't think that matters too much.
No. When asked, Aaron Rodgers, they're like, what gives you confidence you can beat the 49ers? He said, well, we had that one really good drive against them. So he is ready. His humor is on par for this game. And I think you're right. I think the Packers losing that game badly doesn't affect them poorly at all. It almost makes it harder for the 49ers because the Packers showed them nothing the first time around.
Yeah, it felt like, honestly, no, you're kind of right. Like, it feels like Aaron Rodgers, when he can tell, like, when it's just not going to happen in in any given game. And I don't know if this is like the mark of a true competitor or anything, but it feels like he kind of just like gives up at a certain point. Like in that Denver game in 2015, it felt like at a certain point he's like, all right, it's just not going to happen. There's a chance we could play this team in the Super Bowl, so let's just
shut it down.
Let's just shut it down. Like, we're undefeated at this point. Like, this game doesn't really matter. It's not a divisional game.
Classic Belichick move, right?
Right. Yeah. No, it feels like they're just like, okay, they got this one. Let's get them next time.
Lose to the team you're going to play in the playoffs, so you have their number. Why they expose all of their secrets on film.
I mean, this could just be like this might be me outsmarting myself, and the 49ers could win like 45-10 on Sunday. But, I think the Packers played a perfect game pretty much in the first half, and they withstood a Russell Wilson comeback in the second half, which you knew was going to happen and is really hard to do. And I think that was a really impressive win, even if it wasn't like the most exciting game to watch for long stretches. Like, that's a hard win to get at home or on the road, because we know the Seahawks play better on the road, so it doesn't really matter in the first place.
No, the Packers were lucky that Seattle didn't have a running game.
Right, yeah. And
they probably don't win if the Seahawks can run the football. The 49ers can run the football.
They can, yeah.
But Jimmy G's no Russell Wilson, so –
No. I don't know if they need him to be, though.
No, he has to do what he's done all season. Play smart football, don't turn it over. Right. Take advantage of your opportunities when they're there.
I mean, you have to assume for the Packers that someone other than Davante Adams has to have a big game because you can put Richard Sherman on Adams for decent stretches. And that might limit him. But the depth behind Richard Sherman's a little iffy from game to game. Like the Vikings were torching Ahkello Witherspoon for long stretches in the first half.
Oh yeah, he got benched pretty early.
They put in CJ Mosley, and I think things got better. But obviously, like the defensive line is the mitigating factor.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you can pick on someone if you can't get the ball out in less than 3 seconds.
And that's the thing. Like the 49ers defensive line against the Vikings, they completely just shut out Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against the Packers.
That's such an absurd. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to get sacked 6 times. I don't think. Like he's too good at. He's so much better at Kirk Cousins and getting out of those situations, and he'll throw the ball out of bounds before getting sacked most of the time. And maybe he's probably better at Kirk Cousins too, like in terms of awareness and knowing where the rush is coming from. But the thing against the 49ers is the rush is coming from every position.
Yeah, that's like their pass rush is what has been like the difference for them this season.
Yeah.
I expect the Packers to try to run it quite a bit because teams have had success running against the 49ers this season. The Vikings didn't last week, but it will be harder for Aaron Rodgers to perform his magic against that defense. But I'm kind of hoping that Richard Sherman just gets torched by Davante Adams, mostly so he can.
Maybe that's going to happen.
So we can see his post-game press conference is really, really what I want is Davante Adams and the Packers win for that. But I think I'm going to be rooting overall for the 49ers. There's too many Broncos ties where I want to see them succeed. Kind of torn.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would like to see Emmanuel Sanders get another Super Bowl ring.
Sanders, Shanny.
As much as it hurts us to see Kyle Shanahan do well in another team, when we let him slip out of our fingers.
He was right there for the taking.
It was the obvious choice, and we're like, no, thank you. We want an underqualified defensive coordinator from the Miami Dolphins.
Please give us more.
But that's over. Like,
yeah, but also because of that, he got to pair himself with John Lynch, and right. I think they have a great relationship. It's like it's hard to say whether Elway and Shanahan, whether Elway would have been as cooperative with Kyle to bring in like the personnel that he wants. And
right,
I don't know if maybe Elway would have paid Jimmy G all that money. We've seen Elway throw money at other quarterbacks, but like.
I don't think the Patriots would have traded him to us, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
They didn't they were not trading him in the conference, especially with a team that's
always been
their rivals and always been better than them.
The one team that can say
it. But an interesting Jimmy Garoppolo quote from earlier this week about how the torn ACL last year that he actually suffered against the Chiefs, they could easily play in the Super Bowl. That was a huge blessing in disguise for them because without that happening, they don't get the number 2 pick and they don't get Nick Bosa. And they're probably, they have a lot of good players on that defensive line, but I don't know if they are where they are now without him.
Yeah, he's a huge difference maker. He's the type of guy who you have to focus so much attention on, kind of like Von Miller. When the Broncos were having their 2015 run, if you put too much attention on him, other guys are going to destroy you. And
right.
That's what they were able to build before getting Bosa. And then, I didn't even think about that, but
and
that makes a lot of sense.
I have to think that Brian Bulaga, he missed last week because of, I think, the flu.
Yeah.
I
he
can't
should be
imagine
back.
that's going to sideline him again this week.
Yeah, he should be back. They need him. They need him, and
they're really going to need him.
What's Bakhtiari? Is he on the other side there?
Yeah. They're two good tackles, so that's going to make a difference. Obviously, the Vikings have never had a very stalwart offensive line.
No, been a while.
It has been a while.
Who are you going to pick, though? Who are you taking?
I'm taking the two home teams. I'm taking the 49ers.
Yeah, I think I had to pick 49ers too. Sorry, Green Bay. Man. Yeah, I'll take 49ers. All right, there we go.
Should be a good Sunday of football.
Sunday
Ladies
football.
And germs.
Well, thanks for listening to this podcast. You did the whole thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.